Good evening and welcome to another Fortean Words. Or is it 14 words? Hobbit, 14 words or 14 words?
Well, let's not. I'm genuinely going to be serious about this, right? Because otherwise, I'm going to get upset this episode. I really, properly, 100% need to be serious. I certainly will have a piss talk later because there's some interesting, fun things to talk about. But right from the outset, it has always been Fortean words, as we explained to what was that Anorak who
Train Adam. Remember Train Adam?
Yeah, that's it. So Train Adam, we explained to him it's called Fortean words because it's words about things what are Fortean, which is paranormal.
As described by Charles Fort. Charles Hoy Fort.
Yeah. Right. So we got 3 terms today, and they're very similar, but they're different, and I think I need to explain them. So the first one I want to do is gaslighting. There's a film in 1943 called Gaslighting, and it's about this man who seduces a woman. She's coming to wealth, and he keeps turning the gas lights down, making it dim. And when she keeps turning them up, he says, "Why do you keep turning those lights up? They were fine." "Oh, but they seem very dim." "No, they've always been like that." And so that was one of the things which, and eventually it results in, and eventually it results in the woman going mad because he keeps just fucking with her, playing these mind games. So gaslighting is when someone tells you something that isn't, making you doubt yourself. And we get it from the film Gaslight, which, by the way, is available on YouTube. Gaslight 1943, I think it is, or it might be 19.
God.
Yeah, it is a good film. It's black and white, but it's a proper good film. I recommend it, and it's only like 50 minutes long, so it's not, if you're bored with it, it doesn't last long.
Or you could watch Gotham by Gaslight, which is Batman if he was Sherlock Holmes.
KSI Sniper says Hobbit's already sulking. Yes, this is a very touchy subject, as we'll get into later.
Yeah.
So mass formation psychosis is the next one. Right. Mass formation psychosis is one of those things that it's also a bit like mob rule, like when the mob gets all like het up and they're baying for blood. I saw an example of mass formation psychosis with Penn and Teller. I thought you were going to
say COVID.
They convinced a bunch of because they're in India. They were doing a tour of magic places around the world, and they're in India, and they convinced people about the magic rope trip, saying that Teller climbed the rope, and it's like all the Indians saying, "Oh yes, we totally saw the little man go up the rope," but it never happened. It was just a trick. Penn's.
It never happened. It was fake.
Well, isn't the case with the War of the Worlds as well? The radio broadcast. Isn't that
that was also now that was a mass formation psychosis because
but that was unintentional though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was unintentional, wasn't it?
I think it was because the way it was broadcast is they weren't saying "and now for a radio play." It was like breaking news. They were literally trying to make it sound like it was a real thing, and they really were landing. And so the mass formation psychosis is you convince a lot of people into a lie. You get them into a suggestible state. You make
is
them
that like
vulnerable.
it's the experiment where you hold up a blue book and everybody in the class but one person says it's a red book, don't they? That's similar to that one.
But that I would say was peer pressure. Like another example I've seen in it is in an elevator. Which way do you face? Do you face the door? Or do you face the wall?
Yeah. That experiment. Yeah, that was quite interesting.
If everyone does it, then they all follow, don't they? It's like with the
Forming.
I've seen it. It's absolutely weird. So mass formation psychosis.
If anyone ever did that to me, I'd just fart in the lift.
Yeah. So but the thing is, it doesn't work on people like you or I because we just take the piss out of everything. And then,
I bet if Hemi walked into a lift, he'd do it as well. I bet he would. No, actually turn around to the way everyone else was facing.
No, I'd face the door. I'd face the door, whatever.
And then
you say that.
Finally, well, the other thing you do is you sort of bundle through them, so you got your back to the wall, but you can face the door, and you're just looking at all of them smiling. So, and finally, we have the Mandela Effect, which is not gaslighting, it's not mass formation psychosis, it's not you being a dribbling retard who can't remember, where
well, that's
you're
the other
asking.
thing we need to talk about, like these kind of like, when the psychologists talk about this kind of stuff, and they tell you that, LOL, you're a dribbling retard, and I'm surprised you even get home at night because your brain's so fucked and it can't remember or do anything.
You don't know your ass from your elbow.
Yeah. You when you're remembering things, you've got it upside down. All the numbers are wrong. You don't know who anybody is really. Faces, names.
And that is gaslighting, trying to tell you that, no, you're just a dribbling retard. You don't know your ass from your elbow. The Mandela Effect, so called because people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison, is examples where the timeline's been fucked with. So you remember things because you're from one timeline, but now the timeline's gone different. I mean, famous examples of this, which I know for myself, is...
Well, before that, Hobbit, I actually remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember the on the BBC News with Moira Stewart, was it? No, the black lady.
Wasn't she also on the plane bus?
Yeah, I think so. And she was doing a 10th anniversary of Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
I always know when it was like her on the play bus, it was going to be
like
a
1995 or something, or I think it was.
No, she went on play. Oh, was she on Playbus? I thought you were talking about play. I was thinking of Play School, so which was different.
So I remember.
That was Floella Benjamin.
Report that Nelson Mandela had died like 10 years ago in prison. And then I think it was about 2008 when I was doing like psychology.
I remember when Nelson Mandela fisted Desmond Tutu.
The psychologist teacher just came out with it. Oh, Nelson Mandela's alive, and I was like, hold on, that's a bit weird. So I thought he was dead for a long time.
Hemi's got a big list of Mandela effects, and I find this is quite an interesting thing.
Do you want me to go to the MandelaEffect.com?
Well, before you do, I'm just going to say a few examples I can think of, right? And people just go, well, you don't really remember it. Like, for example, you were doing the thing like the laughing cow. Does it have a ball for it? Does it have a ring for its nose?
I remember having a ring. But
and then the other one,
I eat this stuff religiously.
So but it makes no sense it having a ring, though, does it?
Yeah, and I remember it without the ring. Now, there's the other thing. You were showing that music video with Britney Spears.
But then again, when you watch cartoons, have you ever noticed how balls in cartoons have udders?
No. So anyway.
So we're going to start with 40 Mandela Effect examples.
I just, before you get into that, right, I just want to say there's ones which I don't really know because I wasn't paying attention. I don't like Britney Spears, but I do remember the headset. Right, here's one I definitely do know for a fact, right, because John Carpenter is my favourite director of all time. I distinctly remember him dying in 2015 along with all those other celebrities and thinking, shit. And I also distinctly remember George Takei dying and thinking, great. Well, George Takei's been in the news recently saying, like,
yeah, I thought he was dead. Didn't he die? I thought he died of cancer or something, didn't he?
Should have died of AIDS.
I was saying he's going to die of AIDS. He died. Right. There was a bunch of celebrities dying in 2015. George Takei and John Carpenter died. I remember John Carpenter dying because I was like, holy shit, that's so sad. I really liked him. And then George Takei died, thinking, good, he was really annoying. I'm glad he's dead now. But no, he's alive, and he's saying Americans can afford to pay so much for fuel because...
Oh, God, they resurrected him just for that. Fucking hell. Jeez.
Well, apparently I was getting shit, right, because there was like some sort of snarky comment on Twitter, and this was like in 2017 or so. I was like, it's so nice for George Takei to be sending these snarky tweets from beyond the grave. And people are like, what are you on about? He's still alive. Like, didn't he die in 2015 along with all the... he had AIDS, didn't he? He died of AIDS.
George Takei has AIDS.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
So yeah, I've done my bit. KSI Sniper, I'm not sulking anymore. It's just it's a touchy subject because I get upset when people say, oh, it was never like that. C-3PO always had the silver leg. Don't you remember? Not naming names here, but George Lucas did it. It was a solid gold robot, for fuck's sake.
Oh, Bar Ray's firmly in the You're Talking Shit Hobbit because he says, The Mandela Effect is the elites changing history and seeing what they can get away with. Well, we'll get into. Yeah, as Byray says, who the fuck faces the wall in an elevator?
It's the last
And
hadron
Ian says, I
collider.
remember when Karen Carpenter died, skinny bitch.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear. Remember when Freddie Mercury's still alive and well?
Wait, is he?
No, it's a joke.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
Right, so 40.
He could be. Wait, don't say that, Hemi, because in a few years he may actually still be alive. You know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Freddie Mercury never died. What the fuck are you talking about? But just remember that according to psychologists, you're a dribbling retard, and it really is a massive surprise you can even find your way home. Or remember a shopping list, or the most basic of things. You've seen those programs, haven't you, where the psychologists tell you, like, oh look, we put this thing in the background, and you didn't see it because you're a fucking dribbling retard, and look.
Actually, yeah, no, that is yeah.
How is it when you're
so
functionally retarded?
Mm.
Well, it's psychology, isn't it? Have you ever seen the thing with the dancing elephant and the parade thing that like people miss? I fell for it as well. That was so scary. Like, so maybe I can be hypnotized. So stay away from that.
Oh,
kid.
sleight of hand, yeah.
Yeah, like this is like they had this parade thing, and like the teacher, the lecturer was like saying, "Oh, did anyone notice anything there?"
Gorilla.
And it's like, yeah, and it's like a monkey or an elephant thing, like just walks past, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't see that." And it's like, "Oh shit," you know.
So there's an interview and there's all this stuff happening, and you never notice. Like those in the interview are always changing the colours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they keep changing their clothes and things like that, isn't it?
But that's sleight of hand and distraction. We're talking about Mandela Effect.
Yeah, but these are the various like things that they'll tell you, like like because you're an absolute dribbler and your brain doesn't really work at all.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Right. Let's
ones.
go. Right, let's go. Right. So this is just a list. I'll have to find the example. Right. So it's probably best not to go off this list because, well, some of them are in here and some aren't in the rest. Right. So let's start with some movie quotes. So 6 movie quotes that are victims of the Mandela attack. Empire Strikes Back, 1980.
Mandela attack. Fucking hell.
Mandela Strikes Back. Mandela Strikes Back. So, what does Darth Vader say to Luke?
Luke, I am your father.
Your father.
See, the problem is you're actually a dribbling retard and your brain is broken. It's no, I am your father. No, I am your father.
No, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Like, he clearly says, Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, that line doesn't make sense. No, I am your father.
I just watched the films like recently because I was watching it. It's called the despecialized edit, where it takes away all the special effects that have been added.
Has it still got the stormtrooper bumping his head in the first one?
I don't remember that. Look,
there is actually what happened is they took it out in the later edits, but there's right. So you remember when they're on board the Death Star? R2 and C3PO are in the thing.
It's an outtake.
Yeah. No, it's an intake because it actually made it into the final film.
Yeah, I remember in the Virgin Islands. I mean, there's so many different versions.
I can actually prove it to you because I'm such an old fag. I have it on VHS, so I can prove it to you. It was actually in the film Hobbit. It was in the film for years.
Yeah, all right. Cool.
Well, that's it. Like, okay, so then we have to like also preface that like, what if it is an actual official edit?
So the actor Elliot Page or Ellen Page,
Elliot Rogers.
Because apparently, if you watch some films with Elliot Page when he pretended he was a woman, then apparently they all say Elliot Page now.
But this is gaslighting.
I'm joking. I'm joking, but I'm just saying.
It's like saying it's not Kiev, it's chicken Kiev.
Kiev.
Chicken kiev. It's like kvevi, yeah.
Chicken kvevi. Right. So next one, Snow White. What does the evil queen say?
Mirror,
mirror on the
who
wall,
is the fairest of them all?
Well, that's it, because you're fucking retarded, because it's magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest.
No,
fuck off.
It's not.
No, you're wrong.
Well, it's not just us. Everyone's been getting it wrong for 80 years.
Yeah.
Everybody has got it wrong for 80 years.
But this is the other thing, right? Like, one of the famous examples of this, and I say famous, Star Trek is famous, right? And I've watched all the episodes of the originals. I've watched all the Star Treks, apart from the new stuff that isn't Star Trek anyway. Beam me up, Scotty was never said, and yet everyone remembers it.
Yeah.
Now,
it was said, right?
Isn't there some sort of remember? But Bones has never said it's worse than that. He's dead, Jim, has he? So.
And yet that's part of the story.
Yeah, exactly. I think there is like a sweet spot between where we kind of gaslight ourselves into thinking that's the way it was said, because it scans better.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. Dead, Jim.
There's Klingons. There's Klingons on the starboard bow. Starboard bow. Starboard bow.
Oh, Jaws. Yeah.
So, before we go more into this, when do you think this stuff happened? Because I reckon it was around 2011 they started fucking with the timeline, which coincides with the turning on of the LHC.
I think, what is the Mandela Effect? Let's see if I can find out when.
Well, no. It has to be, because I remember the Mandela... Well, I remember Mandela being alive in about 2008.
So what year were you saying, Hobbit?
Right. These events, like Jaws with the braces girl, the Star Wars, all that stuff, that happened... in the before 2011.
No.
I'm saying
it's earlier than that.
The term Mandela Effect was first coined in 2009 by Fiona Broome when she created a website to detail her observance of the phenomenon. Broome was at a conference talking with other people about how she remembered the tragedy of former South African President Nelson Mandela's death in a South African prison in the 1980s. However, Mandela did not die in the 1980s in a prison. He passed away in 2013. As Broome began to talk to other people about her memories, she learned she was not alone. Others remembered seeing news coverage of his death, as well as a speech by his widow.
Yeah, so the fact is, right, so she says in 2009, I reckon it's 2011 when the LHC turned on. And weird things have been certainly ramping up. Maybe the LHC is just a portal into hell, which is... Well, got the demons just straight up going into the UN, and but that comes later. We won't talk about that now.
Well, the fish demon thing, That's fucking weird.
But also, the yokai being released from that stone in Japan. These events they sort of go back and forth in time, don't they? So
yeah. Well, what if the Mandela? You're not incorrect, and the LHC is just a bigger version of it. Like they did their test run with something else somewhere else, and then
they could have tested it in 2009, Hobbit.
Well, they've had
before then, even
accelerators
could have been going on years
before then, haven't they? The LHC is not the world's first particle accelerator.
Hobbit, is it a hadron collider or a hard-on collider?
It's hadron. Yeah, the large hard-on collider is, lol, the hard-ons.
How many hard-ons does it take to turn back time, Hobbit?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. And what I would like to know, do you or the audience, does anybody know what an X particle is? Because I've been trying to look this up recently. X particles, LHC.
Is that just a new term they've made up, or is that something real?
I reckon it's something to do with time.
Hobbit, Bi-Rays explained the hard-on collider. If the balls touch, we all die.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Don't cross the balls, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway,
died in prison in a previous save.
Yeah. So So is this an well, we might as well talk about the collider for a bit. So is this an accident? Is it intentional? Are they diverting the streams or what?
Maybe it was accidental at first, but then they just thought, no, let's keep fucking with it and doing it, and then just all these things happen. But I mean, it's one thing to say separate timelines, but it's quite another thing. I mean, Fruit of the Loom's a good example. In what logical thing would you like have that logo without a cornucopia in it? I think this is deliberate. I think people are like going, like it's almost like the memory hole in 1984. Like, right, let's go back in time and change this bit. Like the braces with Jaws and the lady what fancies Jaws in Moonraker. Like she smiles at him, and he smiles at her first, and she's not intimidated. She smiles back. She's got the braces, and that's why they
hold on.
romance.
Ian said after Mandela was released from jail, he never reoffended. So it goes to show that prison does work.
I would just say, for the record, Nelson Mandela's a scumbag, and so is his wife.
Well, it's like I always say about everything that like there's misinformation, disinformation, and just general wrong information. So it could be that the Mandela effect is real. So he really did die in 1980, or there's in another timeline he really did die in 1980. But now they're heaping the disinformation on as well as the misinformation. So they're gonna just bury it in a deluge of absolute shit.
Yeah.
It's like, why is most of it product placement?
Most of it isn't, though. This is the thing. This is, I think, what many people like get hung up on. Oh, it's just spellings and like, you know, logos change and that. But actually, there's far more to the Mandela effect than just like films and media and spelling errors or whatever.
Yeah.
There's actually geographical changes, human body changes as well. If you want to look up some of that stuff, that's kind of weird.
The reason we mention films and media is because this is something that people have collectively seen, and therefore it's easy to corroborate.
Yeah.
Because if you just say, oh, well, look, I remember at the end of my street there was a house there with a blue door, but now that blue door doesn't exist, and in fact the door's on the other side of the house. It's just like, well, nobody else knows that street apart from maybe a dozen other people that live there.
Yeah.
Right,
and
so I've found
So
I found the geography. Do you want to talk about the geography section for a bit then?
Can do, yeah, if you want, yeah.
Right then, so have you ever wondered why a place you confidently remember from a childhood had a position on a map but suddenly changed its location? You might have also heard Sri Lanka is moving from its original position, right? Some people from the 80s remember studying, discussing or researching on the location of Sri Lanka on different purposes as a place somewhere near to the west of India. Many people from the 90s remember its location as the exact south to India. Now, when you pick up a map or search online, you would find this towards the southwest of India. Herd of wanderers, people travelling from place to place but don't settle.
I remember it's south. No, I remember it's southwest.
Yeah.
I remember it to the southeast of the southern bit of India. Its capital's Colombo. And the reason I know all this stuff is because I looked up where on the map it was, because my dad said, oh, Arthur C. Clarke, because he saw, like, when I was first started reading, I was reading Isaac Asimov, and he said, oh, you read Arthur C. Clarke, he's a nonce. He went to Sri Lanka to avoid getting arrested. I was like, okay, thanks for telling me this when I'm, 11 years old.
While we're doing that, Hemi, I'm going to look up the human body changes, because I think someone in the chat wants to know about those as well.
Oh, okay. So, right, so there's a still from a film called Dazed and Confused, where, look at the weird, apparently that's weird geography. My geography isn't that good.
Have you got it on screen?
Yeah, it's on screen right now.
I like maps.
Okay, then, so this is the Philippines, is it? Partially?
Just waiting for the screen to update.
It's not.
It's still showing.
Oh God, I'm on the wrong. It's right. It's me. I'm a retard. I'm on the wrong browser.
You're a dribbling retard.
I'm a dribbling fucking retard.
You don't know your ass from your elbow.
This is the psychologists are right. There you go. It's up now.
Right. Okay.
Denmark? That's not Denmark. That's
I know it's not Denmark.
No.
No. This is from the days, the bit above. This is from the Sri Lanka section.
Right. So what's it trying to say? Sorry. Oh wow. Okay.
So is that right, that bit there, or is it wrong?
Is there any way to like zoom in? Can you zoom in on it? Like control scroll in. Please tell me you're from the right timeline and have a scroll wheel. There we are. Thank God.
There we go. There you go. You got that there.
Right. Okay. Ah, yeah. Go up that map. Go up to the map above.
You want this one here?
No, the first one.
No, that is the first.
That's it. Right. Yeah, that's what I was actually looking for. Right, because that's actually in a documentary, right?
No, it's in a film. Dazed and
a
Confused.
film, right? Yeah. If you go up. I want to.
It could be a rubbish. It could be a rubbish prop map. Oh,
it could.
So it's showing how different the map is there to now.
Yeah.
Right, I got you.
Yes. Right. So that was using the prop. Notice anything else that's out of place?
What's that big lump next to Australia?
Exactly. This is the photo I was actually looking for.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Like many people are like, oh, well, that's just on the atlases you have that kind of like crest thing with the the name of the atlas.
That's not a crest.
It isn't. No, it's not. It looks like a landmass, right?
So what's that to the north of What's that to the north of Australia then? Is that New Zealand in the wrong place?
No, that's Papua New Guinea.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but it's also Indonesia as well. Like it's split down the middle.
Yeah. Like where the fuck where is that squiggly bit from Thailand? Like it's gone. Like look at it.
It could just be a bad prop. I mean, it could just. That's quite possible.
Yeah, but why is everything else accurate on that then? Why is it that?
Yeah.
Like everything on that map is accurate, except that bit to that landmass to the west of Australia.
Yeah.
How does that work?
How does that magnets? How do they work? Right, what have we got next? So next we got Denmark.
Ooh, Denmark. Yeah, let's go.
So right, people claim to remember the sea between Denmark and Sweden was never this close to Denmark as it is now. A user named UXin made a comment: Sweden and Norway were definitely not touching Denmark. There was a huge sea there in between them. This is a very recent change. I remember a big sea there as little as 5 years ago. It's like Sweden and Norway are bent over, I guess, to make room for. This here.
The thing about that is there is.
Yeah.
I remember it that way because I thought it was interesting that there's a road between Sweden and Denmark, and one part of it, the Danish side, is a bridge, and the Swedish side is a tunnel.
Yeah.
And it goes. It's to the north of Pepper Island or Pepperholm. Sorry.
Isn't that the original version of? Is it the tunnel?
It's to the north of.
There was a thriller series called The Tunnel. They remade it for British television where it was between England and France. But the original
tunnel came before.
No. What? Oh well, calm. I ain't finished yet. There's a thriller series. It's called The Tunnel. What happens is basically somebody's killed, and the body's put precisely on the line between where France and England have jurisdiction. So, but it's based on an original Swedish series where the same thing happens on the tunnel between Sweden and Denmark.
Right, because that doesn't make sense, because the thing is, the halfway point between the bridge and the tunnel is an artificial island called Pepperholm, because it's just north of Saltholm. And they thought it'd be funny. Oh, now we got a pepper island for Salt Island, so now we've got Salt and Pepper Island. Occasionally the Danes can be funny. I like that.
Yeah, no, you know what? I actually think that there's something to that. I don't remember being that close. They were never that close. There was definitely more water between them, from what I remember as a kid. Looking at the maps, Atlas maps.
Hobbit, come on, argue your case. Fraser's pounding you on this one.
I'm not discounting it.
Well, it seems that me and Hobbit are from different timelines. So anyway, yeah. So my timeline, my reality was obviously the old one.
Well, yeah, it's not. It's not. I'd say one's older or newer. I'm just saying.
Sorry, the original.
I would say
So right,
these are
so the
different.
Tunnel TV series was based on The Bridge, which is a Danish-Swedish one. So it's set on the bridge. Sorry.
Actually,
I
mean, isn't continental drift a real thing? Yeah, but the thing is, continental drift only happens on the plate.
where's
Denmark
your
isn't on a
evidence that
plate.
continental drift is real?
Well, there's that as well.
Well, apparently the Hawaiian Islands
another
moves
time.
4 inches a year.
Supposedly.
And who measures this? Is there like some sort of like somebody got a tape measure between Hawaii and the nearest landmass?
Yeah.
Come on, this is a load of bollocks. I don't believe it.
So then another unknown user says they've always been that close as a regular visitor to Sweden and Denmark. I can speak for them too. I've been travelling there regularly since 2004. And that whole time, Sweden and Denmark have been so close together, they have a bridge linking them that takes minutes to cross.
Actually, it's a bridge and a tunnel.
Are you ready? Are you ready for Korea now?
Yeah.
Oh, where's Korea?
Yeah. A similar case was found about Korea when someone came up with a map of the old Korea they remembered, and people started relating their experiences to this map. They claim in their memories Korea was never like this, like as it seems today. Someone with a username Alan Westcoat, obviously a top lad. Try living here in Korea and witnessing the daily changes to the landscape, lol. A few weeks ago, my daughter woke me up to tell me the islands outside our window had moved again, which they had in relation to our memories of them, although, of course, is always the case with the Mandela Effect. Those islands have always been where they currently are, and should they move again, will always have been in their new locations as well, lol. What if instead of actually moving Korea, we just take that massive bulge out of China to bring Korea closer to the Southeast Asia? I think of it as China having grown rather than Korea has moved in relation to... Blimey, this bloke's weird.
What?
As Korea has moved in relation to what you remember. Certainly, I never saw the Bohai Sea on any map until this past August, and then a whole lot of people were noticing geographic changes. Now, of course, Taoist legends regarding the immortals place them as having inhabited. Do you want to read a bit of this Hobbit? Because then you might make some sense of it.
Actually, instead of reading that, what I would like to say is,
yeah.
Do you remember when it was one of the early episodes we did about a bloke what came into, I think it was Japan, and they'd never seen his passport before, and they gave him a globe of the world and he said, well, point to where you are, and he pointed to what is modern day France, but...
Oh, yeah, saying... what the hell was that? Yeah, we spoke about it. What the hell was that country called?
A something, wasn't it? It began with A, I think it did.
Yeah. By Ray should tell us. I'm pretty sure he told us about it last time.
And this was like, I think in the 1950s when there was propeller aircraft, and
didn't they trace it back to a
let's see if I can find it. Man who
I'm sure it's someone from the chat that mentioned it first.
Country from never before seen country passport. Let's see if I can find the story.
Dom says Peter Kay could get a lot of material out of all this remembering.
The mystery of the man from Torred. The man from Torred.
Torres, that's it.
Yeah.
And so his name was, what was it? Nansfer Behodrick Torrid citizen, born in 1988. This is such a low quality image. Like, couldn't they get anything better? But I'm just going to post it here because this is another thing of like different timeline or perhaps a different dimension. Was it? Did the nukes cause this stuff to happen? Is that what's causing that thing? So when they give them map,
well, the aliens stopped all of the nukes except for all those times they didn't.
Yeah, when given the map, the man pointed to the country of Andorra, situated on the border of France and Spain. Okay, so I remember it's France. But it was puzzled why Torrid had a different name on the map since its native land had been in existence for over 1,000 years. So with suspicion the man might have been a criminal of some kind, the customs officer took him for further questioning, performed search of belongings. When they did both, they found multiple different currencies. The man told them the company worked for and the hotel was planned to stay at. When they investigated further, they found that his company existed in Tokyo, not in Torred, and that the hotel he mentioned existed, but there was no such booking for the man. Obviously perplexed and worried, the customs office sequestered him in a hotel room with 2 armed guards blocking the only entrance and exit as they sorted out the mess. When the customs officer went to visit the man next morning, he and the stuff had vanished into thin air. Right, so I'm thinking that's probably like he was from a different dimension.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
Peter Kay likes
stuff to
doing...
disappear.
Isn't Peter Kay's like entire shtick? It's like, do you remember when this was like that? Do you remember when this was the thing? Do you remember that? How does he turn that into an entire stand-up? The only thing I've seen of his, which I find like remotely funny, which is good observational humor, is like the older you get, like the brighter a light you need to read something. Like my dad, and he had like the guys with the spotlights. You need like a 2 kilowatt spotlight to see it. So they had like a spotlight shining on him when he's pretending to read a receipt. He says, "Oh yeah, I can see it now." Anyway, that's Peter Kay. That is.
Yeah. All right, keep going, Hemming, with the geography stuff.
I've got one more actually that might be Mandela Effect before it was fashionable. This is quite an old story. I've read this quite a few times. What happens? So woman checks into a hotel with her mum. Mum takes ill. Girl goes to goes to get a doctor and some drugs or something like that because the mum's ill. Comes back, room's completely empty. No memory of him and of the mum and her at all. Mother's disappeared.
Did she ever come back, or was it?
No. It's only like quite a short thing, so that's that's even.
Yeah,
like
I remember that story.
Version.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite an old story, isn't it? And yeah.
But is it a Mandela effect? I don't.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Is it or isn't it? Or well, something obviously completely changed because obviously they wouldn't have had time to like completely because the room was completely different as well, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. Right.
What are we doing? Oh, geography. Right. So that's that. Korea, Japan. Japan is also recently known to move its position. I shan't read the.
The stuff with the geography, it just seems a bit like the ones with New Zealand saying like New Zealand doesn't even exist. Yeah. It's just a made-up country. I mean, I'm willing to believe it. I'm not saying I do, but I am willing to believe it.
So how has Japan changed? Like, I
can't see. I'm looking at I really can't see.
Wait, maybe
much
read
difference.
it. You should read it then, maybe.
Oh, okay then. Japan. Spent a lot of time looking at Japan in Google Maps and Street View years ago, comparing its density with the British Isles density. Confirmed that Japan didn't used to be so close to Russia or Korea. You could zoom in on the computer and have a rectangle with Japan on there alone, with the surrounding ocean. Now that's impossible. Big chunk of land in the picture. So are they saying that Japan's got bigger?
Well, it's got closer to Korea, South Korea, basically.
Yeah, it's got closer to South Korea and mainland Russia as well.
Right, okay. Now, it's saying I can talk in authority on it, right? Because there's a bunch of islands like Okinawa.
Yeah, it's in Fukushima, not Tokushima, is it?
Fukushima's to the north of Tokyo, to the north and east, but...
No, what's the one?
Wait a second.
Hokkaido.
Tsushima, that's it, Tsushima.
All right, so Okinawa is an island which is a bit equidistant between Taiwan and Japan. And yeah, there's what's this island here? Shimanaya Island, and that's Japanese, is it? Yeah, okay, it's pretty close to. There's a fair few islands there, isn't there? What's that one? That's Korean. That one.
People are really coping, guys.
Maybe a Chinese map maker wanted to make the sea of Japan look smaller.
Oh, right. The Koreans are so insecure about it. Do you remember, like, there was like was it the Olympics in Japan, and the Koreans were waving a flag, Korea, but spelling it with a C, so that they come before the Western alphabet before the Japanese. And apparently the Japanese, the reason they call it Japan and not Nihon is because that way they appear in the alphabet before the Koreans do. And I'm like, you fucking what? The Koreans are really petty fucking people, you know what? They got
You
small
remember worst
dicks.
Korea, don't you, Hobbit?
Yes,
Haven't you changed your mind? They're both worst Korea now.
They are both worst Korea. The Koreans are just scum.
Right, so what's this one here? So Old World Blue, Foreign World... What the fuck is the Foreign World?
The Foreign World is in black.
One?
Yeah, this is talking about how the Australia's got close
So is this the moving Mandela Effect thing then, is it?
Yeah,
they show
this is how
Greenland as being a lot bigger now than what it used to be. That is something I seem to remember.
Well, that could be explained away maybe by Mercator projections. Using Peterson.
No, they're showing it as being much bigger than.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can't actually draw it, they can't draw it accurately because they've got to fucking slap it onto the globe Earth, aren't they? That's why they're fucking it up. It's the globe Earth. It's more proof of flat Earth, isn't it, boys?
Gotta stretch it out. That's what it is. Yeah,
they've got to stretch it over a globe instead of flat, how it should be.
Like my dad's favourite game used to be Solitaire on the PC, but now his favourite game's Google Earth. And he spends a lot of time looking at the Pitcairn Islands and other islands in the Indian Ocean. And he says, he was telling me, he says, have you ever looked at Antarctica? And I said, no, not really. It's not very interesting. He says, there's a lot of areas in it which are airbrushed. They're not real textures. And I thought that was a very interesting thing to say.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so go down to Andorra. Let's have a look at Andorra then.
Oh, it's this little tiny bit between Spain and France. It's like a little Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein's not a real country, by the way.
No. Where's Hemi? Has he disappeared?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just... Was Pangea the Mandela Effect? Does anyone know what Pangea is?
Pangea is when all the continents are supposed to be as one.
Oh, right. Okay, then.
And then
Andorra? Well, we know why Andorra's changed, because it was where that geezer lived.
Yeah. Next to Andorra. Yeah. All right, okay. So how has this changed then?
Most people don't remember this small country named Andorra located between France and Spain. They're pretty sure and confident they had subjects like geography, etc. as their mainstream, or they had a keen interest on maps but had never come across or heard of this nation. Someone the username Contacting the Dead shared their views in the comments section of a blog, and what they said was, that looks strange to me. I remember having to colour and name each country in Europe for world history throughout the years. Not once was it on the map, and if I find my old schoolwork where I see I coloured this country and wrote the name, I'll freak out.
Yeah, because that was a weird thing, because my dad's been to Spain before, and he's been from the south of France to Spain, and in order to get to where he was going, you'd have to go past Andorra. But you never did. And it seems, and I always thought, oh, that must be a recent thing. Like, when they said Wales is is its own country, and I thought, oh, well, clearly that's just like, part of Spain, but they're called separate now.
Yeah, but it is only 468 square kilometres.
Yeah, but Malta's 19 square kilometres. Malta's a real country.
Yeah, but that's in the middle of the sea. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a tiny island. It's literally, when you're in an aircraft, it takes 5 minutes to go from one end to the other.
Yeah, how can you not know about Andorra? Because don't they play in the World Cup every now and again?
Well, that's clearly just one of those weird things. Like, see, it's a real country. They got.
My race says, all of you are foreigners. Get out of my timeline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've heard of Andorra. So right, so Cuba next.
All right, okay, let's go.
So Cuba is a country located in the Northern Caribbean, where a place in it. Do you remember Caribbean? Do you remember
Caribbean.
Weird people from a funny timeline call it the Caribbean.
Yeah, but also weird people call it Kivivi.
Yeah, Kivivi.
It's gaslighting.
Beijing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they do that on even with English place names. Like they saying it's Newcastle, and it's like, no, it's Newcastle.
No, it's even weirder than that. It's like Newcastle, isn't it? Like they it's like the weirdest pronunciation ever, isn't it? Newcastle. Yeah, I think they don't say Newcastle. They say Newcastle.
Okay.
It's the way they say it. It's just really
It's
odd.
Newcastle.
Yeah, but they go Newcastle.
I looked up why
yes.
they call Geordies when they're Novocastrians. It's the Geordie safety lamp.
The Geordie safety. So anyway, some people remember Cuba in a different geographic structure, something like a place of a lesser area and located somewhere further west to where it is now. Someone named German accent. Oh,
I was quite surprised how
opinion
big Cuba
discarded
is.
then. Is it big?
Yeah, it's quite big.
Yeah, so that's Cuba. Mongolia.
Mongolia. Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one actually.
Mongolia has also come up to be ennui. I think that's a typo. I think it means one of the most interesting topics, isn't it? Interesting topics regarding the Mandela. Fucking, I must have been pissed when they wrote this. What's that?
The Mandela Effect.
4 mistakes in one sentence. Jesus Christ. When one day
someone from Mongolia.
Glanny writing the Mongolia article.
Just literally, Mongolia has also come up to be ennui of the most interested topics regarding Mandela Effect.
Mandela Effect.
Captain Corelli's Mandela.
Yeah. When one day someone came up with a question: is Mongolia part of China, or for how and when this? God, none of this fucking must have been absolutely hammered or stoned when they did this. Or for how and when did this happen? This came into light. What the hell?
Yeah, what the problem is.
Right. Okay then. Is Mongolia part of China?
Drunk I am, officer.
Yeah. Have we had too much to think, sir? A username Mangolds stated, unless he's like verbatim doing that. For me, Mongolia was always part of China. I discovered that it's its own country about the same time I learned it was confirmed. It was a confirmed ME Mongolia is always where China sent dissidents to prison, similar to how Russia USSR would send dissidents to Siberia. So,
can I be a Mr. Snopes here?
Go on then, let's Snopes this one.
I hate to be a Mr. Snopes, right, and be one of those shit-eating fact checkers saying, but actually, there's an Inner Mongolia and an Outer Mongolia. One of them is part of China. The other one is its own proper country.
So this is just retardation then?
Well, also, bear in mind, they called it the Great Wall of China, who for some reason the castellations face in towards China. But anyway, they called it the Great Wall of China, as we know it's the Great Wall of Tartaria. And it's pointed towards China to keep them in. And they say on the other side of the Great Wall is Mongolia, but it's Tartaria. So maybe Tartaria is another Andorra Taured type thing.
But then why do we remember
They
it
do
on the
change the names of countries, don't they? They like to like
that's actually an interesting point. Maybe Tartary is a Mandela Effect.
Well, you've got Mumbai, Peking. What are the other ones they piss around with?
Honduras is no longer called that. They called it Belize.
Yeah.
Burma is Myanmar.
Right.
Yeah, so they are fucking with us. It's kind of very hard to figure out what they do, what's fucking with us, and what's
right.
Yeah. Well, the end goal is then basically.
Do you know what I think this is as well? Because a lot of people say, a lot of people, whenever you get like try and study history and all this sort of stuff, you realise that how much of it is absolute lies. And apparently what it is the powers that be, they treat us like mushrooms, keep us in the dark and feed us shit. And they've got the true history, whereas we get all confused with like saying we've always been at war with East Asia.
Right, okay. Do you want to go into the human body changes? Because
go on, let's. You got a link. You got some.
Yeah, I've got the link. I'll put it in the Discord. Yeah.
Where is it?
in the
General or
My
the?
mum always thought
Mandela.
that the liver and the stomach were two separate places, and they're the other way round. And they're like, no, your liver's on your right side, and your stomach's on the left side. But the funny thing is, she grew up reading the Encyclopedia Britannica, and she said even when she couldn't read English, she'd read the anatomy plates because they were interesting to look at, as it's full colour and made out of cellulose. And that way you could sort of put various layers on top of one another. I'll have to have a look at it at some time and see if it's any different to what I remember.
Kidneys under the rib cage. You wouldn't want them over your rib cage. They'll get fucking squashed, won't they?
Yeah, but like whenever, speaking from my experience, whenever we did, biology in school, the kidneys were never in the rib cage.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what
Yeah,
I
always
remember
find
them
it
being at the
interesting.
side, at the back, right? Not in behind the rib cage, right? Because if they're in the rib cage, then the rib cage is at the back, right?
No, all this episode's taught me is that I know fuck all about geography or anatomy.
I just find it very strange how you got like
Honduras and Belize are two different countries. I bet you're being corrected.
Yeah. Honduras and Belize are different countries, but that's why there was British Honduras.
Ah, right.
You've got Polynesia and French Polynesia.
Right. You want me to read the this?
Yeah,
this
go for it then, Fraser. This one's yours.
Okay, so one of the fascinating changes that we're seeing with the Mandela Effect are the changes to human anatomy. Unlike changes in spelling and logos, changes to our bodies affect every single one of us. They are initially hard to notice because we don't look inside our own bodies on a regular basis, but easy to verify because we've all learned some basic anatomy in school, and we can just poke our own body to see if it's changed. Changes in human anatomy are the best place to start if you want to become aware of the improvements the Mandela Effect changes have made to our world and our lives. Many of the changes seem random or ambivalent, but the changes to our body, almost without exception, are clearly improvements. This could be interesting to go into later of why this is happening, right? You'll find you're able to do more with your own body than you ever could before. More endurance, more flexibility, and you're less vulnerable to injuries. Here's an incomplete list of changes to the human body. Things are still changing every day, so some of these may be different in future and some may be added.
Well, in addition to why, is how is it that our liver and our stomachs get swapped around, or kidneys are much higher up than what they used to be?
Well, I guess we may never know that, right? Unless
are your kidneys attached to your testicles? Then is that what they're saying?
Well, no, they attach to your bladder.
Oh no, yeah, I know.
No, but this is the thing, right? That picture of the kidneys and the bladder connecting to the bladder, that looks wrong, right? It's way too long of like.
Yeah, why would the kidneys be all the way up there?
Yeah,
those kidneys are too high up.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. How do you fit all of those organs, right? You've got the liver there, you've got the kidneys, you've got your heart, you've got your lungs, all inside the ribcage.
Well, I specifically remember the reason the kidneys are down there is because they're close to the lower intestines, and the lower intestines is where you get the majority of your water from, which I always finds ironic. Like you literally like you're sucking moisture out of poo. That's how.
The rabbit, like it says a bit later on, the rabbit punch is about whacking people in the kidneys, isn't it? The kidneys is down there. Like on a cold day, I remember when I was a kid, you used to get like pain in your kidneys on a really, really cold day.
Your kidneys they're moisture regulation, so they dictate how much goes into the bladder.
Yeah.
And,
right. Okay. So, I'll read this then. So the changes in organs, right? Although we are learned about our hand on the left side of our chest when they play the national anthem. Okay, so these are Americans.
Cat-sized Sniper said, "This is freaking me out, bros. I don't have all that stuff inside."
This is no longer where the heart is. Your heart is now located in the center of your chest, with only the left ventricle slightly leaning to the left. This change puts the heart perfectly in line with the heart chakra. Okay, all right. Your kidneys, which used to be around the small of your back, have moved up and are now located under your ribs. That doesn't. Yeah, I always thought they were in the small of the back, just below the rib cage.
Yeah.
Like, Now they're
Because that's
up
what a rabbit
inside it.
That's what a rabbit
Yeah.
punch is. You're punching the kidneys.
You know,
So-
there is something which I find funny about this is that perhaps this explains why I was having such difficulty in Sniper Elite 4 when trying to do kidney shots, because I was going
Failed.
much lower than what they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you've got to keep up with the modern thing. Kidneys are now like they're literally where your lungs are, according to that diagram.
Where are your lungs then? Are they in your ass now?
Or maybe your lungs are in your armpits. I don't know. You use like bellows.
Fucking hell. Alright, so your kidneys, which used to be around the small limb, have moved up to under your ribs. They used to be the most vulnerable part of your back, correct? Yeah. And you can still find remnants of this Mandela Effect in the rabbit punch, martial arts, and BDSM guidelines saying the lower back should not be hit or risk of peeing blood the next day. Okay.
Oh.
Changes to the skeleton. The eyes now have bone all the way behind it, making it much more difficult for an injury to the soft tissue of the eyes to affect the brain. Right, so what they're talking about here is if you go up, there's see the skeleton? We now have a bone at the back of our eye socket where they
That's
never
at the
used
top,
to be
innit?
one.
The
Yeah.
skeleton. Look,
Because
that there.
with skulls, you've got black holes where the eye sockets are, because it's literally just like the eyes are part of the brain. The optic nerve connects into them.
But there's a bone in between those now.
No, there's not.
Well, of it.
Don't
This
piss
is
on me
the
and call it rain.
changes.
Well, Hobbit, you're just not an
Yeah.
advanced biologist.
Don't
This
piss
is what
on me and call
biologists
it
are
rain.
telling you.
It's
Right,
not.
okay. Right, okay. I'm not gaslighting you here, Hobbit, but this is what
Well, someone's doing the gaslighting.
this is what the physicians are saying now. The nose, which used to be all cartilage, now has a bone running vertically through it. So that there is no longer a gaping nose hole in the skull, and inside of the skull it is more difficult to access through the nose.
Well, that's not true. Don't you
That's-
remember what was her name? Pamela West or something, where she got no septum because of all the cocaine she did?
No,
Is
you
it
mean
Pamela
Daniela Westbrook.
Daniela Westbrook. There
Right.
we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This also brings up, like, how did the Egyptians then, if it was this like bony thing, get the brains out with the hook? You know, that made it more difficult.
Lemon
right?
Party,
Maybe?
you know,
Yeah.
Mandela Effect. I'll have a look.
There
No,
are now-
don't.
No.
That's like
No,
saying
lemon
blue
party.
waffle.
Oh,
No.
okay then.
Yeah.
There are now ridges at the bottom of your skull, making it harder to damage your brain.
I'll take it. Meat Spin and Tub Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's a classic. I hope Mandela Effect doesn't. We need that
Erase
to be
that.
preserved for future generations, along
Okay,
with
there
cake farts.
There are indents in the bone structure around your temple.
Meat Spin never existed, apparently.
Yes, it
Oh
did.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Every teenager at fucking school.
KSI, I'm
knows
not
it
that
is.
stupid. If I'm gonna search this shit, I'm gonna search it on the browser that's not showing on the stream.
Did you actually know that System 32 doesn't exist, so you can't delete it?
Clint Eastwood and Doors. Delete your System 32 folder. It'll make your computer run much quicker.
That's it. Yeah, you can download more RAM.
Okay, right, here's one. Your mouth has slightly more space for teeth, reducing the problem many people have with wisdom teeth, making it easier for them to fit in. Not with me, obviously. Obviously, I'm not a new human because that.
Or English, because he had one of his wisdom teeth grew up through one of his other teeth and split it all out.
Yeah, I'm not a new human. Sorry, I'm not the upgraded version. So if you are, you know.
This sounds like, but a lot of this sounds like bollocks to me.
Well, all we have to do is verify it with like modern day, you know.
Okay, so
anatomy, right?
Stop reading for a bit because I mean it's all well and good reading this stuff.
I think we'll leave this. I think we'll leave this one. Seems like bullshit to me.
It's a real head scratcher, and I've got some questions, and it doesn't matter if we haven't got any answers. Hopefully, we'll get some answers in the weeks to come. But with questions regarding like how do they do this? How do they change culture? How do they do it so that C-3PO's got like a silver shin when he never did? And how with the stuff with the human body, which I'm skeptical on, it's one thing to say, oh, well, they changed culture, and like now that Jaws' girlfriend's not got any braces, which is very strange. I don't know how they do it. I mean, what, CGI? No, because then how do you affect the version I got on with my own copy, my VHS copy or whatever? How would you go about changing the organs in the human body? How do you do that? How do you not just wake up one day and go, that feels different? Strange. I seem to remember that my kidneys were much lower down in my body because when I've been really thirsty, I get a pain in my lower back.
Okay, so I'm gonna look. Where are the kidneys in the body? Where are kidneys? It's true. Oh my god.
What? You're looking at kidneys?
Yeah. Oh my god, they're in the rib cage. What the fuck?
What? No, that's bollocks. That's not true. This is literally a shit test now. You know what? I haven't looked at it, and I keep recommending this one. He's not at all related to any of us, but it's called Windows on the World, and he did a thing 3 weeks ago called Post Reality World, and we are living in a world where truth and facts are no longer they're no longer being done, and it's all just about psychological manipulation now. And it's very strange because you go, well, I've always remembered this, and now they're doing like stuff which I thought, that's it, they're getting more brazen with the lies. So I mean, I could say, when I say not brazen with the lies, okay, I'm going to get into it again. The fish demon representing the United States in the council, and people just going, haha, it's a black woman. Haven't you ever seen a black woman before? And it's like, well, what black woman has got a massive head like that looks like a fish demon with its gaping mouth and everything? They're just getting more brazen with this stuff now. They're getting absolutely. They're like, oh, we're not getting any pushback. No one's stalling politicians and putting their heads on spikes. So we'll just like have demons in the UN and say that your kidneys are in your rib cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. This seems a bit weird. Where are they getting this from?
Well, you remember it, Hemi, right? Why are you remembering something different? The kidneys are in the rib cage.
Well, you see, maybe that's the thing. This is
you're the one in the wrong here, Hemi. That you've got your kidneys are in your rib cage, but
So
you're remembering they're not.
In addition to the why and the how,
yeah,
I think the other question of that is who benefits, the key bono. Like, all right, so they're fucking with us. They're doing some sort of like psychological experiments and like getting us to doubt ourselves, probably to do a mass formation psychosis.
Right. So what you're saying is like when you're taught at school, you're just taught wrong, and then later on, like they're gonna tell you it correctly or something, but they are. I don't know if it puts that much effort into it, like teaching kids the wrong thing, only later to then teach them the right thing.
Well, you say that, but what about Common Core with the really weird, like, maths questions? Those are psychological torture. Have you ever seen those questions?
I haven't actually, no.
Well,
I've heard
maybe
bad,
we should do some Common Core as an example of psychological manipulation. So Clint Eastwood, he actually gets onto the point here, and I think this is where they're leading with this who benefits. The real gaslighting is them convincing people it's not them manipulating search results in past movies. Remember, there was only 2 genders. At some point, they'll say there were always 56 and counting genders. And that's the other thing. Like, for example, the perfectly acceptable term to describe the collective of humanity is mankind. But now people are saying, oh no, it's humankind. Or we've always had Anno Domini and before Christ to describe the years, but now it's called before Christian.
Yeah.
BCE, before Christian era, and CE,
Right.
which is Christian era.
Okay. Well, this is it. Can we differentiate the things then? Is that could just be, oh, we're making it a bit more, they're just obviously the rewriting of history or events or terminology, maybe that is one thing, but literal changes, right? Is that another?
So they're always doing this. They're always doing this historical manipulation. So, like saying Andorra is a real country, but I've never heard of it. And it's just so much of this stuff doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't so much buy the anatomy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, Hemi, where are your kidneys?
Well, they're down the back. They're down the back. Is this? Can we like verify this with like is there like a biology site or something we can?
Okay.
Which one do you trust?
This against? I don't know.
BBC,
Like an NHS site or something. NHS site? Is there an NHS site?
NHS. Yeah, there's an NHS guide here. The kidneys, a basic guide. I don't know if what do they do? No, where are they?
NHS doesn't really do anatomy. Because I was trying to find information about the
okay, right. So NHS kidneys, a basic guide. Most people have two kidneys, which are organs shaped like kidney beans, each one about 10 to 15 centimeters long, located either side of the spine, deep in the abdomen. However, it's possible to live a healthy life without. Okay, so basically, they're saying deep in the abdomen, right?
Yeah, the abdomen is below the thorax. The thorax being where you have your rib cage.
Interesting. Wait, so are you saying the NHS is wrong? Are they wrong as well?
I'm saying the NHS is right. The kidneys are in the abdomen. Lower abdomen.
Okay, so the enemy. Okay, right. Very well health. Location of very well health. I don't know how. Anatomy. Side of the spine, top of each kidney.
Cat-eye sniper said best core.
Okay.
Oh yes, that's a good reference for where all your bits are. Yeah, but it's a bit more difficult to figure it out when your insides are all squished.
Okay.
Speaking of which, have you seen the one where there's a cyclist and there's a bus goes near him and he gets caught under the wheels and gets turned into giblets? Like the top comment underneath it was, "Oh my God, is he all right?"
Right. Okay. So so it's in the middle of the back against your back, your spine.
Because we got to make sure we're not being.
Size of your fist and they're shaped like a bean. According to Dr. Charles Patrick Davis of medicine.net, your kidneys are located just below your rib cage in the back of your abdomen under your liver, because of the largest part of your liver is on the right side of your abdomen. Your kidney sits a little lower than your left kidney.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood endorsed. Explain what you mean with the Tiananmen Square tank, because I remember I've seen a video. There's a man with the shopping. He's standing in front of a tank.
Well, they're obviously not going to show him on the thing, are they?
Being run over.
Yeah, just going for a pee. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so... You see, this is it. They're saying it's just below the 12th and 11th and 12th rib.
Well,
yeah.
If your ribs, like, for example, there's a very small gap. In fact, I don't think there is any gap between where my ribs end and where my pelvis begins. So some people have got rib cages which goes much like deeper than
it could be on
people's.
body side, body shape, I suppose, as well, right?
But then again, I've not really gone poking people in the sides that much, so I don't know if that's just a common thing. That's like, your rib cage, and you think. But then I look at skeletons, because I do, and with the skeletons, they always show like there's a big gap between the rib cages and the thing. But maybe it's just when they put a skeleton on display, like for some reason they had the vertebrae. No, because then the skeletons would be really tall if they were stretching out the spine.
Yeah.
So why is it when I look at skeletons on the thing, unless there's connective tissue that's like really tough between it and it feels because I can feel my ribs when I touch there. There's definitely there's no gap between. Let me just feel right now. I'm going to do it. I'm feeling myself up live as we speak. Right, that's a rib. That's a rib. Oh, okay. Don't push so hard. That's a rib. That's fat. That's skin. That's my hip. That's where my kidney is. Right. Okay. So that's my ribs, and there's my pelvis. Yeah. So
you wouldn't have floaty ribs like that. There's no you'd pop something, wouldn't you?
Well, you don't have floaty ribs anymore. Supposedly, that's changed as well. It's all now connected to the diaphragm.
I am getting like spooked out with this stuff. It's making me dizzy.
Your spine is now 3 times as broad. I don't know. I'll buy some of this stuff, but I'm not buying.
You'll buy the film references and the
Maybe we should get back to the cultural stuff because let's face it, not all of us do dissections every day. Not all of us have a skeleton for anatomy study.
Not many of us know what's going on the inside, do they?
And here you have first ever Fortean words where Hemi and Hobbit are actually freaked out by the paranormal.
No, that happened with the exsanguination and also the Dennis Nielsen one.
Okay, all right.
And also
first time I've seen you like freaked out about something and want to move on.
Well, the Myra Hindley one, I think I had to mute myself because I'm like, I wish that bitch was still alive so that I could have executed her as well, because fuck Myra Hindley.
Right.
I had some proper rage when I was reading about that stuff.
Let's go back to the cultural stuff then. Let's go back to the safe space. Let's go, Hemi.
We go. So what we mix 50 Mandela. So basically, there's what we got it. So Jiffy peanut butter is Yank. Oscar Mayer wieners, we wouldn't know.
In England.
Yeah, but Jif's cream cleanser, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and they had to rename it to Sif so that you can be reminded of syphilis.
Sex in the City.
Yeah, they changed that. They're saying it's Sex and the City, but it's Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Final
line of We Are the Champions is another one.
We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losing, 'cause we are the champions. Well, is it supposed to be now?
Of the world. It's there's no of the world at the end. Monopoly Man, monocle or no monocle?
Monocle.
He has a monocle because he's rich, and rich people have a top hat and monocle.
Monopoly Man didn't have a monocle.
Fuck off. No, there's literally a community chest thing, right, where it says banker in your favour, collect £200, and it shows you Monopoly Man's monocle popping out because he's reading the card going, oh, that's nice.
So, Pikachu's tail. What's the end of his tail look like?
I don't know Pokemon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the little black bit at the end, right?
No,
I remember having a black bit. No, I used to have a black bit at the end.
Yeah.
When I was a kid watching Pokemon, I had a black bit, I swear.
Darth Vader, we've done that one.
We're supposed to do Chick-Fil-A, apparently.
Chick-Fil-A. Oh, well, yeah, that's probably one in there, right?
I don't think you'd know which Oscar wins DiCaprio's first Oscar is 2016 for The Revenant, but other people believe he's won for Titanic and What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Did he not win for one for Titanic? No.
I don't know. I know Titanic swept the floor, didn't it? But maybe he didn't get one for the
leading.
I mean,
Maybe.
it's quite someone. Darth Vader doesn't say, "Luke, I'm the father." Sinbad the genie. I don't know about that. Film Shazam. There's a whole Shazam thing, isn't there? There's Shazam. I think there's a film with Sinbad the comic, and there's another one where they think Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal was originally called Shazam, don't they?
Do they? I don't know about that. That's a new
Shazam.
one.
Shazam.
Shazam. That's actually a good film, actually. To be honest, I enjoyed that.
So the Ford logo, I can't honestly say I know the different. I know this one.
But did it have a little squirrely bit in the F, or was it? Is it? This is the thing. Is this just a rebrand thing, or?
Yeah.
Well, they do a lot of
It's
logo
hard to.
simplification, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've stopped using Firefox because I don't like how they treated their designers, saying they're not, gay agenda friendly enough. But they keep making the logo of Firefox like more abstract and gayer and simpler, and I hate it.
Life. So what's the line from Forrest Gump then?
Life is like a box of chocolates. You don't
You
know
never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Life was Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That doesn't even make sense.
How does that work?
No,
that's not logical.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. Unless he never said the second bit.
Again, another case of don't piss on me and tell me it's raining.
Forrest Gump might have been one of Tom Hanks' most memorable. MASH, don't know about that one.
No.
Apparently Radar died, but then he didn't. However, the character remained alive well into send-off episodes in season 8. So some people remember Radar dying.
Radar,
no, I never watched MASH, so.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the song Radar Love.
No. JFK's assassination, is it a 4-seater or a 6-seater? Sorry, it's not a 6-seater, is it? Did it have 2 rows of seats or 3 rows of seats?
2.
Apparently there's 3 rows of seats. There was 6 people in the car.
Right.
Okay, lol, whatever.
I don't know, but don't you remember? Don't in the film you see 2 people, like one jumping to protect Jackie and
onto the back
one
of the car.
Yeah, 2 people jumping backwards. So I think that's quite possible or probable. Because you see, I'm sure you see Secret Service. You see 2 diving. You see one diving on her, and you see one diving on him, don't you?
Yeah.
It's not really something I've watched a lot of. Oh, speaking of which, they released 9/11 the director's cut. So right on the 2nd of March, no, hang on, 22nd of February 2022, they released a video saying, "Oh yeah, I just had this video and I haven't uploaded it, so it is." And like the plane crashes into the tower, says, "Oh yeah, that's United Airlines flight. That's United Airlines." I thought, how the hell did you see it was United Airlines flight? You can't see anything on it. You can you can make out it's an aircraft, but beyond that, I couldn't tell you if it's a 737 or an Airbus. I couldn't tell you. And I actually, I am interested in aircraft.
So what's we got? We got I Love Lucy. I've never watched Lucy.
No.
Lucy,
Same.
you've got some explaining to do. Don't know about that one. What else? If you're Cruella's last name.
DeVille.
How would you spell that?
Devil.
Oh right, okay then. Yeah, because some people think it's DeVille, as in DEVILLE.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought it was DeVille with an E.
Yeah,
and if they retconned it to be like devil, as in like DeVille is spelled devil because she's devilish.
Double stuff Oreo. I don't know about the double stuff Oreos. We don't have them over here anyway, so we wouldn't know that anyway. Flintstones. Apparently it's the Flintstones, not the Flintstones.
No, bullshit. It's
No,
Flintstones.
not true. That's wrong. They made it up. It was never like this. This one's on us.
Does anybody know
A writer wrote this.
Does anyone know who Smokey Bear is, or Smokey the Bear?
No,
that's
it's
a Yank
American, isn't it?
thing.
Oh, that's Forest Park Ranger Service. Smokey the Bear says, pull out your fires when you're done. And
Nifty 50 United States. Most of us can recall learning about the 50 states. Some people swear there's 51 or 52. I think that's like.
I thought there was always 51.
Well, they joke that the United Kingdom's the 51st state.
Yeah, it's long been joked about. Yeah, that one's like. See, some of these are I can't even say it. Misrememberings.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's gaslighting, some of it's misrememberings. But then there is also like genuinely like, you know, things like Andorra is not a real country. It's like, come on, it's not.
What colour is Chartreuse? I don't know what colour Chartreuse is.
Oh,
another dog in
yellow.
Red. It's a red colour.
What? What do you mean red? You're thinking Campari.
No, Chartreuse is like a red.
Campari's red.
Right?
All right, there's two different types of
colour.
Chartreuse.
There's a colour Chartreuse.
Right, the colour Chartreuse is a greeny yellow. It's more green than it is yellow. You're thinking of claret. Or
okay, what colour is Chartreuse then, Hemi?
Some people think Chartreuse is pink or magenta, when in reality it's green or yellow.
Told you, me and Hobbit are from different timelines. I tell you, like I'm from the one where that is the red colour.
Yeah.
So I happen to like drinking Chartreuse, and I miss having stuff because it's good for you if you're sick. It is a panacea. It's also an anti-parasitic, so that's probably why it's good for you. There's two types of Chartreuse. There's green Chartreuse, which is greener in colour. And there's yellow Chartreuse, which is light yellow colour. They're both very bitter, and they both contain wormwood.
Right, so Mr. Rogers, obviously another Yank one, so we're probably
Chick-Fil-A.
not gonna. But apparently he used to sing some people think he sung "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood," but he actually sang "It's a Beautiful Day in This Neighborhood." You see, some of these, they're a bit weird, aren't they? They're like very close to what was actually said.
Clarice. Yeah.
So hello Clarice. Apparently says good morning.
Nah.
Risky Business, where when Tom Cruise is dancing in his pants, he's not wearing sunglasses, although people think he was wearing sunglasses.
You know what you should play? You should definitely play that Britney Spears.
I'll play that near the end or something.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Watch out you don't get Jude playing copyright content. Because we can't do that on YouTube anymore at all.
You can't have fair use.
As long as you don't have the sound on, right?
Anymore.
Well,
fair use means you never get to play any copyright content ever.
Right, okay. Well,
and that's fair.
So, another Star Wars Mandela Effect that has even tricked even tricked Hobbit. The most diehard fans, lovable robot sidekick C-3PO is depicted to some as being gold from head to toe. But if you take a closer look, the droid's right leg is silver below the knee.
Bullshit.
See, I've always known it's silver because of Empire Strikes Back.
In your timeline it is, but it literally sticks out like a sore shin, because why the hell would this robot be all gold except for that bit? I mean, there's never anything saying, oh yeah, this is an old beat up robot that's been made together from scrap bits together. It's bullshit. No, it's wrong. I hate it. Absolutely hate that. It's like one of the most glaring examples of they're fucking with us.
Cheez-Its. I don't know. We don't have them over here. So Lord of the Rings.
Yes, we do. You can get them for like £9 for a tiny packet at the candy shop.
Oh,
one of the free candy shops in Cornmarket Street. Where you can get like a kosher dill pickle in a packet.
It's just bad observation.
Dom's correct. The C-3PO thing's not Mandela Effect, just a bad observation.
Nah, that's your shitty timeline.
Right,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. I assume they don't say which bit, but I assume when they're talking about where he fights the Balrog. So when Gandalf tells Frodo and the rest of the crew, "Run, you fools," before his dramatic fall, the truth is he actually says, "Fly, you fools." Why would he say fly?
What? Oh, come on. Look, some of you... Look, I'm willing to concede you're from a different timeline where C-3PO had a silver leg, which clearly makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But I'm willing to concede that, right? In what possible timeline would it make sense where Gandalf would say, "Fly, you fools"? They can't fly. He could say flee, he could say run, he could say scarper. But fly? No. That's bullshit. Run, you fools.
Yeah, I remember clearly saying run.
So anyway, Cinderella's cat. Anyone been to Disney World? Not going to know this one.
Not really, no.
Some Disney fanatics think Cinderella's castle is right near the entrance to Disney World. However, the iconic fairy tale castle is just beyond the iconic main street of the main Magic Kingdom. I could kind of imagine like Cinderella's castle being right in the middle. Would make more sense, wouldn't it? So I don't know. Mona Lisa's smile, then Hobbit.
Yeah, she's got a smile.
Yeah, it used to be bigger apparently.
All right.
A more clear smile. Well, that's the thing. It's like they've always called it an enigmatic smile, anyway, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, Alphabet Cat's got quite a. Alphabet Cat's got a sensible. It might be color correction on an old copy of Star Wars.
No, wrong.
Oh, apparently there's dialogue changes between surround sound and mono versions of Star Wars.
And it doesn't help that there are a lot of edits of it. And one of the things that George Lucas kept doing is the sequence of events between Greedo and Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kept messing with that, didn't he?
In the first
it's been cleaned up a few times as well, hasn't it?
You remember the first version? I think it was the very first version in theaters of Star Wars, the original, A New Hope. Jabba the Hutt wasn't a giant slug thing. That was added later. He was actually
deleted. That's a deleted scene, isn't it?
Yeah, because in the original, like before they put any special effects on it, it's just a flat bloke with an Irish accent.
So an improvement over Jabba the Hutt.
The choreography, the boxing's still the same. It's still got Han Solo, like where you see it with the special effects, and he walks on Jabba the Hutt's tail. Han Solo does that in the one with the man, but he doesn't step on anything because there's nothing to step on.
Yeah, Jabba is in the special edition from 1997. Oh, apparently they've replaced Puppet Yoda with a CGI version in the DVD of Episode 1.
Well,
really?
That's why I watched the theatrical edit.
Yeah, I don't know. Star Wars. I'd say Star Wars is probably one that you can't really trust anyway because of the amount of times he's messed about with it. So what? Hobbit's favourite, the Fruit of the Loom logo.
Yeah. It's got a cornucopia, it's a horn of plenty, and that's why you have fruit spilling out of it. Yeah. And I asked my mum, who was into it, because, it was a big thing in Belgium in the late 80s.
It was a big thing in the 90s generally, mate.
Yeah, so it was a big thing. I said, "Can you remember those?" She says, "Yeah, it's a basket with fruit in it, spilling out of the thing." It's like, exactly, it's a horn of plenty.
Fruit Loops, which is a Yank one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Fruit Loops with 2 O. It's fruit as in fruit spelt properly, and then fruit as in FROOT. There are 2 versions that people remember. Abe Vigoda, I don't know who that is. Starring in films like Godfather, Fish, Good Burger. Actor Abe Vigoda passed away in 2016. There have been multiple reports of his death from different sources. Don't know who he is, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, I've seen Good Burger. Is he the fat black kid in it?
Don't know. No, he's in The Godfather as well, so he must be like an old Italian guy.
Yeah.
Don't know about that one.
Right. So Sally Field's Oscar acceptance speech. I don't know. You like me, you really like me, was the line in Sally Field's award acceptance speech that we all thought we heard. In reality, she said, I can't deny the fact you like me right now, you like me.
No.
No.
Stop lying to me.
Stop gaslighting me.
I don't like being lied to, and I know when I'm being lied to.
Henry VIII's turkey leg. Some historians swear up and down there's a portrait exists with a medieval king of England holding a turkey leg. However, turkey leg ceases to exist.
Who says he's evil?
Isn't that kind of just like a like thing about him? When he's been portrayed in films, he's always like chewing on a turkey leg, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just like show him as a fat bastard.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I mean, he is a fat bastard.
It's a bit. I mean, who's really going to have a picture taken where they're holding their dinner in those times?
The King of England?
I don't think you would. I mean,
Jesus. There are some paintings where men and women are at dinner. Or what about like for example, the painting of the humble innkeeper, and he's got like a keg. He's got a pitcher of beer, and then somebody got like this picture of like a modern North FC bloke just holding like a stein of beer, and it's just like these archetypes exist. They don't change throughout the years. There's always a friendly innkeeper, who's ruddy complexion, he's chubby, and he's got a smile on his face.
But Patrick Swayze died of cancer. Some people remember him beating cancer and recovering.
Okay.
Any of you lot read Curious George?
Nope.
No. Readings for fags, you know that.
Well, anyway, Curious George, some tale. He either had the tale or he didn't. Challenger, here's one we were talking about beforehand. The Challenger space shuttle. Many people who were alive in the early 80s remember the horrific explosion that took place 73 seconds after the Challenger lifted off. The official date of the tragedy is January 28th, 1986, but some people swear the accident happened in 85 or 84.
Right.
You ever seen the film Capricorn 1?
Yeah.
That's a good film.
Yeah, that was a fucked up film. Hello?
What else we got? Lindbergh baby case. I'm not a massive expert on it, so I wouldn't know.
The Lindbergh thing, yeah.
No, the Lindbergh baby. Yeah, Charles Lindbergh, the aviator.
Yeah.
His baby was abducted in 1932. Even though a child's remains were found even though a child's remains were found, or the child. Fucking hell. They're trying to fucking Mandela Effect me within the Mandela Effect explanation. Even though a child's, I assume they mean the child's remains, were found a mere 2 months later and the killer was later convicted and put on death row, many people speculate the case is not yet solved.
They're gaslighting with their spelling and grammar.
Mother Teresa, was she canonised? I thought she was canonised.
I thought she was, yeah.
Well, I was just reading something about Saint Teresa, and I was like, "Wait, are they talking about?"
Oh, no! Hold on. No, the thing is, was she canonised while she was alive? She can't be canonised while she was alive.
Yeah, she was. She was. I thought she was, right? No, or was she? Wait, was it? I thought she was canonised when she was alive, right?
Oh no, sorry, no, 1990s. That must have been when she died, weren't it? Sorry. So
she died a day after Princess Diana died.
Yes, right. So people think she was canonised by John Paul II. However, she was. However, they're saying now that she was canonised by Pope Francis.
Well, yeah, it was John Paul, wasn't it?
When did Pope Ratzinger become?
Well, they're saying Pope Francis did it in 2016.
Wait, what? No. She was canonised before then.
Yeah. I think she was canonised by Paul II. Neil Armstrong's dead. Did you know he passed away in 2012?
No.
No.
Okay. Same
But
here.
he stays out of the limelight. He doesn't talk about the
Yeah.
stuff which happened.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
wait. Okay, so Neil, is he dead or alive? Though, is that the Mandela Effect? Which one is it? Is he actually alive, or is he dead?
He's dead. He died in 2012, but
Right.
nobody know. Well, like, no, there was. Well, there was no. There was certainly no.
What,
pomp and
Neil
ceremony for
Armstrong?
it, was there?
Was it the first man on the moon? Neil
Yes.
Armstrong.
Yeah, yeah. He died.
No one made a fuss about it.
He died, and nobody barely got mentioned. Obviously.
Okay, that's a bit weird. You would have thought first man on the moon, historic achievement would get.
When
Yeah.
did Yuri Gagarin die? Is he still alive?
I would have thought so. I think he's pretty dead. Right. Ed McMahon, we wouldn't know that, and the publisher's clearing our sweepstakes. Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstain Bears. The Berenstain doesn't even make sense. Does it?
Bernstein.
Yeah, Stein, wasn't it? Yeah. Or Steen, as they say.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Stein.
The Gremlins movie. What was the name of the villain?
Was there a villain
Water.
in the Gremlins?
The
Feeding
original
after
one, yeah.
midnight.
Feeding them after midnight. Yeah, wasn't
Yeah.
that?
No.
the villain?
You know there was like the big bad Gremlin, the one that Gizmo kills at the end. What was his name?
I don't
To
remember.
be honest,
I do not
prefer
remember.
Gremlins 2 to Gremlins.
Right. So most will remember the name. Most people swear the name of the Gremlin was Spike, but it was actually Stripe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember Stripe.
You remember Stripe?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I remember it being one of them. Yeah.
I think there was
Don't
very
remember.
good reason it was Stripe, because didn't he have like a stripe on his head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Spike sounds very familiar, like, for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could just be
Yeah.
misremembering.
Location of New Zealand. Whereabouts is New Zealand?
Oh yeah.
Southeast of
south.
Australia.
Yeah,
East,
some
yeah.
people think it's northeast. Looney Tunes or Looney Tunes?
Looney Tunes, because they're
Tunes,
loony cartoons.
Yeah, same here.
Toon. But it's not, is it?
It
Tune.
is.
Yes,
It
it's
bloody well is. I don't care what the official websites and stuff say. I know. You're not gonna piss on me and tell it's rain for the umpteenth time.
So Mirror Mirror on the Wall, we've already done that one. Tiananmen Square Tank Man. I always assume he's been squished because they don't show you what happens next, do they? They never showed you what happened next on the thing.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they just run him over.
However, the truth is the man did approach the tank and got Drake dangerously close to it, but he was forcibly removed from the path of the tank. That could be either way. That could be China, because they're very secretive and they don't really tell you the truth anyway, do they?
Well, yeah, that could just be the Chinese trying to save face or whatever.
Yeah. Billy Graham, the evangelist, died in 2018, although people think he died years ago.
Okay.
Skechers or
Right.
Skechers.
I never got the
Sketch.
shoes, but I assume it's sketches with the T, like a sketch.
Apparently it's sketch with a ECH, not ETCH.
Doubt.
Febreze,
1 E or 2s or 2.
I remember 2 E's.
Yeah, Febreze, like a breeze.
Febreze, yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? It's Febreze.
Febreze.
Febreze. Let's see any
Febreze,
more.
my Jezzy.
Mandela died. Why is Mummy moaning? It's a bit wrong, isn't it? Sex and the City. Oscar Mayer Wiener. J.C. Penney. Apparently, J.C. Penney, believe it. Some people believe.
Oh yeah,
Penny
yeah,
as in
yeah.
one.
Sex in the City. What do you remember? If I remember seeing the
Sex in
title
the
because it was always on like Cartoon Network on TNT. Was it after like Cartoon Network finished at like
Sex
5
in the City?
back in the day? Yeah, but it's not. It's Sex and the City.
We are the champions, but it's not champions of the world. Sally Field, done that. Lucy, you got some splaining to do. Mona Lisa again. Kit Kat, hyphenated. And interview with the vampire or interview with a vampire?
The
Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah, Interview with a Vampire. I thought that's what it was. Here's the one that everybody's been going about. Chick-Fil-A.
Okay.
With a C or with a K? Or with a C or with a CK?
I assume chick is like the chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah. CK.
Yeah, well, apparently it is CK. But apparently some people think it's CHIK or CHIC.
Again, it's an American brand. Don't have
yeah.
it here. I'm not familiar with it.
Are you sure this isn't just all Americans can't remember shit? Is this,
Yeah, it does seem like that, doesn't it?
Is that it?
Americans, so it's not the Mandela Effect, it's Americans can't remember shit.
Don't you try and explain this stuff away. No. This is why we did the whole thing about gaslighting, mass formation psychosis, and Mandela
How did that work out with the kidneys, Hobbit?
It's all out, like tip. Like...
I felt where my kidneys are. They are where they are. That's bullshit.
Mickey Mouse. Have we done Mickey Mouse yet?
No.
Mickey Mouse does have shorts on. I can kind of say that because I had a Mickey Mouse toy when I was a kid, and he had little cloth shorts on.
What do you mean he was meant to have? I thought he had dungarees on.
No, he didn't.
Americans are just the most gaslit mindfucks Western nation. What about Germany?
Oh, Gandhi. Is it GANDHI or GHANDI?
Ah, right. I assume it's the latter of the two.
Yeah.
And whilst we're on the subject, the spice turmeric.
Oh no, it's sorry, it's actually where the H is. So is the H at the end or is it at the start?
Yeah.
Is it Gandhi or Gandhi?
Gandhi. Not Gandhi. It's Gandhi.
Yeah. It's H at the start. Okay, then smoky.
Anyway, turmeric is now pronounced turmeric, and it's now spelled TURMERIC. But it was turmeric. It was TUMERIC. Turmeric. There was no two R's in turmeric. And I know because I've been using turmeric since the mid-90s. I like it. It's a fun spice.
If you build it, he will come. And but everyone remembers, if you build it, they will come. Well, he builds the base. He builds the baseball field for a load of ghosts, so that doesn't even make sense. Aqua, Barbie girl. Is it? I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world or in a Barbie world?
I always because I do remember the song "In a Barbie World."
Mm. Cliff's Notes. Does anybody remember that?
Cliff Notes. The actual program, the actual website thing. Cliff Notes. No.
Is it Cliff's Notes, all one word, or Cliff's Notes?
Never been on that, or is it? Cliff's Notes?
The tool most of us use for every book report ever is written is called Cliff's Notes, not Cliff Notes. Is it Cliff Notes or Cliff's Notes?
Cliff Notes.
Cliffs would make more sense, wouldn't it? They're Cliff's Notes.
Notes belonging to Cliffs, yeah.
Yeah. It was never called Daylight Savings Time.
What?
They're saying that it was never called Daylight Savings Time. Oh, the term Daylight Saving Time. What? Daylight isn't the only thing being saved. In the term Daylight Saving Time is also saving the use of the word second S. It was never Daylight Savings Time, so it's just Daylight Saving Time.
Now, okay, can we look at the picture of the Looney Tunes thing here? That just looks wrong on so many levels.
That is wrong. That's a Chinese knockoff.
Yeah, a Chinese knockoff. It's not real. It was never real.
I want the real Coca-Cola, not this fucking bullshit.
You're going to need another bigger boat.
Is that a...
when George shows up for the first time, he says, you're going to need a bigger boat instead of we're going to need a bigger boat.
No, we're going to need a bigger boat because they're in the situation, right?
It's Quint's boat. It could be either. I mean, both of those actually make sense. He could be saying to Quint, you're going to need a bigger boat. or we could say we're going to need a big boat, as in all of us.
I always thought it was like, all of
Yeah.
us are going to need a big boat, right? What, why would you then single him out and say, "Oh, you specifically going to need a bigger boat"?
It's Quint's boat, isn't it? And he's the captain. So I think it makes sense. It makes sense either way. Pixie Sticks. Never heard of Pixie
We've already
Sticks.
done Chick-Fil-A, Clint. We've already done it.
Oh, Pixie Sticks are like straws filled with sherbet and.
Skechers doesn't have a T. Not bothered. Gene Wilder's died twice, apparently.
Yeah, just can't stay dead.
Some of these could be wind-ups, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Well, that's the difficult thing about it, and that's why we started off with a very serious disclaimer of saying that we're going to be serious about this, because a lot of people are just pulling a leg and trying to do all this bullshit about it.
Yeah.
And that's annoying, because you're trying to find the truth about it. And then even with people like you, who I know you're not taking the piss, but mate, C-3PO was solid gold.
No, I'm not taking the piss. I know that because I had the novelizations of all the books, and in the middle there were like pictures. And like I lived in a time before you could get fucking video film stuff on demand, so I had to wait until it came on the telly. So like I'd eat up any fucking bit of Star Wars I could find. In the meantime, before it came on TV.
But that recent thing, like with Jaws and the girlfriend and Moonraker, and she smiles and she has the braces, and they got something in common because they both got funny teeth. And now it's not like that. And you said that, and the thing is, I watched Moonraker like a few years ago. I went through a thing of watching all the James Bond films, and I think I got like the one with Scaramanga in the most. The Golden Gun, the man with the golden gun.
Yeah.
Rubik.
But
yeah. Rubik or Rubik's?
Rubik's.
Rubik's with an X or Rubik with a K. Yeah, everyone knows it's Rubik's. Yeah, everyone knows it's the guy called Rubik invented it.
Rubik's Cube. It's his cube.
Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese, don't know about that. Cup-O Noodles is actually Cup Noodles. Don't know, that's a Yank thing.
We got
Double Stuff Oreo. Judge Judy. Yeah. Judge Judy never used a gavel on her show. Don't know. Tweedledee and Tweedledum have green flags on their hats, not propellers. Hobbit.
Is that a Disney thing?
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Because I don't know how Lewis Carroll depicted them.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have had that because the little propeller on the hat. There's Tom Cruise in his pants.
I mean, the chat's mentioned this stuff before. Judge Judy and Executioner, good one. But a lot there is a lot of gaslighting these days. Like, if you believe Netflix, like I'm waiting for Vladimir Putin to be on Netflix so they can get a black man to depict him.
Yeah, Anne Boleyn was black, wasn't she?
Yeah.
They're all black.
Should we have a look at the? I think a section on this Mandela website is debunked.
Okay.
Mandela Effect debunked. So let's see what the debunks are, and then I'll go through the.
Fuck you, Snopes.
So it's the misinformation effect, like an like you're that fucking retarded, you don't remember.
You don't know your ass from your elbow.
Yeah. Confabulation. Yeah, I think some of the pop culture ones could be confabulation. Like the Beam Me Up, Scotty. I could well buy that he never said Beam Me Up, Scotty, but it's kind of like a confabulation, like Scotty manned the transporter, didn't he? And they had to say Beam Me Up, so like they turned the catchphrase into Beam Me Up, Scotty.
Yeah, it could have been something that was said outside of the show, right? And then it like
Isn't a lot of people know that by Michael Caine, stuff like that, isn't it?
Well, one of the things which gets me angry with all this, like, oh, you're just an idiot, you don't know better, is they were doing that as a defense, I think, either in Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, where they were saying that that's it. They had this false memories expert on it saying that, they just have these memories, they're not false, and that expert was used in a previous thing about the satanic panic, saying that, wow, they're just making things up. There's no such thing as satanic child abuse.
Especially not in the McMartin daycare, is there, Hobbit?
Or with Jimmy Savile.
Well, you know the
happened.
McMartin daycare thing, don't you? That the FBI actually spilt a map talking to it, where they actually mapped out underground tunnels under the place where they said it didn't.
Well, that was the thing they did as well with the Comet Ping Pong. Like they said, there's a basement underneath it with the torturing the kids, and they say, there's no basement
Alphabet Cat says, "Beam me up, Scotty" is probably in one of the films, but never in the series. This is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know the films as well as the series. For some reason, I never get around to watching them. I don't know why, but the thing was with the Comet Ping Pong stuff. They're saying, well, no, they concreted in the basement. They filled it with concrete, and it's like, why have you got a door which leads nowhere? Oh, well, it was just, it's a funny quirk because we're a quirky pizza shop. That was a weird thing. Well, here's a thing right ahead from one of these. Sorry to go on this, but I think it's an adjacent topic, so I'll mention it now. There was a woman. She was talking about the child abuse that happened, and like the famous politicians and Hollywood executives abusing her. And she said one of the things they do is she remembers one example where they had one of the abusers was wearing a Frankenstein mask, Frankenstein's monster mask, and walking on the tightrope, so it appeared that he was floating in midair because there was also poor lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
And the idea behind that was that, well, if ever you try and tell people there's like you got raped by Frankenstein who was floating in the air, you're just going to sound batshit insane. Like when I said C-3PO was all gold. Yeah, everybody else says, well, clearly he's got that. And then you can see the film there, he's got the silver leg. I'm like, I don't fucking care. He was all gold.
Yeah.
And you can say it's confabulation, or you can say I'm a dribbling idiot who doesn't know his ass from his elbow. But
actually, Alphabet Cat says Adam is the proper name for Frankenstein's monster.
I thought it was Gary.
I thought it was Frank.
Oh, I think there was the creative writing exercise. It's like, what would you add to a story to make it better? And someone just put like a couple of sentences after the Frankenstein thing, and it says, and then the monster said, by the way, you can call me Gary. I don't mind.
So what else you got? You got false memories. Some of this could be false memories. Cryptomnesia, whatever the fuck that is.
See, Clint Eastwood indoors. I want to give him a spanner so he can show a YouTube clip of C-3PO as all gold. Okay. So, I can't do that because it's not my channel. You'll have to give him a spanner. I'll give him a spanner. Because I want to see that. I want to see the clip that proves my memory is correct.
Right, so cryptomnesia is confusing your imagination with reality, is classified as cryptomnesia. Misattributing a made-up event in your mind, something that actually occurred, is another factor and should be taken into consideration when analysing these Mandela Effect cases. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this does seem like do you think they've just like buried the lead on this with just like, I remember Kit Kats being this way and I remember Coca-Cola being that way?
I remember wagon wheels are so big you could literally use them as a wagon wheel.
Yeah. Social reinforcement, they're saying, is part of it as well.
Right, so I just type in C-3PO. I didn't even put all gold. And the very third clip says, C-3PO always had a silver leg. Why the Mandela Effect is wrong. Fuck you, nerd stuff. Shit channel. I bet you go on I fucking love science, bitch.
Social reinforcement, where we were talking about this. It's like...
Yeah.
You can have like commonly held beliefs, can't you, that are wrong, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's possible. So the C-3PO is BS. I think it is. Oh, no, I think he did have a silver leg. I'm not reading that one from Tom. Cognitive dissonance is the next one, part of it.
I think Clint Eastwood just woke up and realised, wait, what? he's
Wait, what? They said he had a silver leg. Lol, that's retarded. Being a part of something bigger than yourself. A lot of this is the same thing, just said in different ways. Oh, it's just absent-mindedness.
Yeah, right, okay. That sounds like gaslighting to me.
Yeah, I don't remember a silver leg either, but I've been watching Star Wars recently.
Actually,
just
Hobbit.
Yeah.
Many people believe that they have experienced the Mandela Effect theory point to time traveler tampering with history. The problem with that assumption is that time travelers interfering would alter more than movie lines, brand logos, and celebrity deaths. Affecting the timeline will cause a large segment of the population to never exist and drastically change the landscape of life on Earth.
Yeah, or it could put your kidneys in your
happens.
ribcage. Either one.
I mean, that stuff happens. Like there's people that don't exist all the time.
Yeah.
But we don't know about it because we never remember them. And because they're not famous movie stars or don't have stories about them, then we'll never know that they didn't exist, because it's like, oh, wasn't there somebody who worked in that Greg's? No. Oh, I thought there was. Oh, you must have misremembered it.
So what else have we got here? Brain conditioning, presentation inconsistencies, perceived insignificance.
All of these different things just to explain away why C-3PO has a fucking silver leg, right?
Yeah, mental cross-ups. It's not C-3PO that had the silver leg.
A brain tumour, they put that on the list.
Not yet.
Out
of ordinary characteristics, fill in the blanks. Incorrectness being correct. Okay. Similar sounds. Not paying close attention. Lies. Multiple personality disorder. Paranoia. What? It's getting a bit crazy now. A mild cognitive impairment. See, you're a fucking retard. Agnosia. Agnosia is a memory disorder that causes people not to recognise specific people, noises, or objects. Dementia.
Literal
amnesia,
dementia.
Stress, brain injury, nutritional deficiency. Well, I don't know. I mean, that nutritional deficiency could be correct, couldn't it?
See, you're just a mental spacker. You don't realise just how
medications,
dribbly you are.
Medications.
It sounds like you're just reading the fact that when you found out kidneys were inside the ribcage. This sounds like you guys no.
They're
it's
just trying to put everybody into the DSM version 666. Exactly.
Yeah. Silent strokes. You had a stroke and didn't realise it. That's why that's what the Mandela Effect is.
I had a stroke this morning.
Fluoride in the water, making the frogs gay.
Oh, that's tartrazine.
Yeah, Mandela Effect theories, alternate realities, time travel, confabulation, cognitive dissonance, fake news. So the conclusion from this website is, so as we went through the Mandela Effect theories that can explain the Mandela Effect, it's clear how our memory and mind betrays us when it comes to remembering things. If you have your own theory or explanation, don't hesitate to drop it in the comments section if convincing.
Yes,
we will update it on the article as soon as possible.
It's clear you're fucking lying to me and you're thinking that I'm some dribbling idiot who doesn't know better, and I'm just going to trust you.
I think there's a bit of something along with a whole heap of misinformation and disinformation.
Look, like human memory is shit. Like human memory is absolutely dog shit, especially under trauma, under stress. It is absolutely.
I'm not in any stress
terrible.
when I'm watching Star Wars, though.
Well, okay, yeah, but that to just say it's that.
Get explain away
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? Maybe you want to play the Britney Spears clip now, because I think this is something completely different to. Just being read off a thing or just a logo. This is actually video of
Britney Spears. Hold on a sec.
Where's we got Britney that Spears? From that video. It's
What's
2 minutes.
Is the video in general?
Thing, isn't it? Yeah. It's just play the first one about Britney Spears.
I'll play it without music. I'll play it for about.
Well, no, you music.
Without music for you, pair. Anyway.
Welcome to the third.
Well, no, there's no music. There's no music in it. We got that video.
Just looking for it.
That posted earlier, yeah.
Yeah. Right, 153. Right, so I'll leave the music on. We can talk over it. I'm playing it. Hold on. Share screen. That one. There you go. Right, I'm showing it now.
Okay.
Sharing it to Discord. It does look
Man,
like
that
she's
is an
touching a
ugly
mic there,
doll.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
because
Did she have a mic on or
Yeah.
not? But
Yes,
it's
she
literally
did.
called. It's literally called
Yeah.
the Brick mic, the Britney mic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So if what for the context of the people who are like listening to this or watching it, Britney Spears, when was it Oops, I Did It Again? Was that the name of the song? Yeah, she always remembered it, like having a mic, but supposedly in the official version now, she never actually wears a mic. She has no mic at all. Yet you clearly
Sorry.
see in that video that she was touching the mic where the mic could have been, the headset
Yeah.
mic. So
I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, read the
Mark
Clint
it up.
Eastwood indoors in your best.
I think
Alex
I
Jones
experienced the
voice.
Mandela Effect. Although I thought I was watching Tassel, but it turns out I was watching North Korean torture tapes. Reality was better.
Folks, this is Alex Jones here. They're using CERN to rewrite Hollywood movies and give C-3PO a silver leg. Total demonic stuff. Buy my Dick Force 1 pills. Right, I think we're done, aren't we, boys?
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. Demons. We haven't talked about the demons.
Oh, we can do another.
Yeah.
Demon Stone is split in Japan. The demons come out. It's a fox lady, and when they were chasing her,
What, Amaterasu?
1,000 years ago, when the king's Emperor Togu's men were chasing her, she turned into a stone, and then she gassed them all with sulfurous. So she literally farted until they died. And she's been a stone ever since then, but now the stone's split. So what she's going to do now is possess a world leader and get them to do terrible things in chaos.
Okay.
So now you know.
There we go. That's that. Are
See
we
you
all
later,
done?
folks. Good night.
Stay spooky. Don't have nightmares, etc., etc.
Remember, your kidneys are inside your chest
Yeah,
now.
right.
Demons are in the UN representing the United States. Demons are real.
I remember stay spooky.